Welcome to our channel, guys. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to make a shake generator. The materials needed are the following: 50 grams of magnet wire, gauge 30 AWG or 29 AWG, 3 to 4 pieces neodymium magnets. In my case, the diameter of the pipe I used is 1/2 inch, so I used the 15 mm by 5 mm neodymium magnets. But if the diameter of your pipe is 3/4 inch, you should use the 20 mm by 5 mm neodymium magnet. 3/4 inch masking tape. The length of the pipe is 4 inches. PVC cup for both ends. 5 mm LED or light emitting diode, capacitor, small rocker switch, 4 pieces 1 ampere 50 volts silicon diode. The value of the capacitor I used is 4700 microfarad, 25 volts. You can also use 16 volts. This is optional, but every time you make a project, I suggest that you make a schematic diagram. These are the other materials that can help you on your project: small piece of sandpaper, scissors, cutter blade, and marker. If you don't have sandpaper, you could use the cutter blade in removing the coating or the varnish of the magnet wire. Only remove the coating on the tip of the magnet wire, the part that will be connected to the silicon diodes. If you want to solder the connections, you will need a 30 or 40 watts soldering iron and soldering lead. If you live here in Bacolod, all of these materials are available in our store in the downtown area. Just check the map for the location. Now, let's begin with the project. This is the schematic diagram. This will serve as a guide on how you assemble your project. You can pause or take a screenshot or photo of this. The first thing to do is to make a coil. You should always mark the part where you will coil the magnet wire. If you have covers, put them on first, then make a 1/2 inch allowance on both sides, then put the mark. Just coil the wire between the two marked spots. Before starting the coil, cut some small pieces of masking tape. You're gonna use this to prevent the wire from being tangled. When you remove the tape, make sure you put your thumb on the wire to prevent the whole spool of wire from loosening. Once it loosens, it will all get entangled. Just pull 1 to 2 meters at a time and put a tape on it. If you're doing this as a group project, you can always ask other members to hold it. Once the spool is secured, you can now start winding the magnet wire to the pipe. Make an approximately 2 inches allowance. Secure it with the masking tape and begin the coil. Start on the first marker and end on the second marker and go back again. You base the one complete turn on the wire that is sticking out. In the middle of winding, if you stop to take a rest or do something, put a masking tape first to secure the coil. Because if you don't, this will happen, and you will start all over again. That's why you should always have small cuts of masking tape ready. Before adding more wires from the spool, secure it with the tape. Again, put your thumb on the wire, then remove the tape from the spool. Just do this process until you complete the coil of your generator. Make sure to keep count on your turns while doing this process. Continue winding until you reach the other marker, and then go back. Make a 1000 turns for better result. I just sped up the process by using the rewinder in our store. I used up all 50 grams of magnet wire and completed the 1468 turns. You can just do 1000 turns, but the more turns, the more voltage it can produce. So this is it. What I should do is to cover the whole coil with masking tape to prevent it from being damaged, because if the coating will be scratched off, it will be shorted and the coil will not work properly. Next is to remove the coating or the varnish from the tip of the wires. You can use a sandpaper or scratch it off using a cutter blade, but be careful not to cut the wire. Just gently scrape off the coating. After exposing the copper, you can test your coil if it's working by attaching the LED to the wires. The LED bulb has two legs. The long one is the positive and the short one is the negative. But right now, when connecting it directly to the generator, it doesn't matter which leg will be connected to the wires. They can be interchanged. Now that the LED is connected, I will now test it. What I did to the cover is I glued a thin piece of foam. You can use a cardboard or a crumpled paper. The purpose is to protect the magnets from being damaged when hitting the cover when you shake the generator. I recommend you should use a minimum of 3 magnets, but if you have 4 or 5, the better. After testing that the generator is working, I will now start to assemble the diodes and capacitor. Before I assemble the diodes and the capacitor, I will remove the LED first from the generator. First thing to do is to assemble the diodes. For those who don't know how to read the symbols, I have drawn an image of parts used so it will be easier for laymen to visualize. This is the diode, the capacitor, the switch, and the LED. And this is the generator. Diodes have lines or band. The part where the band is the positive side. When assembling the diodes, connect the positive side of the two diodes first and let it point to the right side. The positive side of the third diode will connect to the negative side of the upper diode. And the positive side of the fourth diode will connect to the negative side of the bottom diode. And both the negative side of the third and fourth diode will be connected. Twist both the positive side of the first and second diode. Then twist the negative side of the third and fourth diode. Twist the bottom diodes, and then the upper. The diodes will make the flow of energy one way from the generator to the capacitor and LED. Next is to connect the capacitor. The longer leg, which is the positive, will connect to the positive side of the diodes. The shorter leg, which is the negative, will connect to the negative side of the diodes. Next is the LED. The shorter leg, which is the negative, will connect to the negative side of the capacitor and the diodes. If you don't have pliers, you could use 2 coins to twist the wires. Then the switch will connect the positive side of the capacitor to the positive side of the LED. Then connect the positive side of the capacitor to the switch. two sides of the diodes will connect to the two wires of the generator. Now, the connections are complete. The capacitor will act as a rechargeable battery that will hold the electricity, and when you turn on the switch, it will discharge the electricity to the LED and make it light up. Using a multimeter, I will show you that the capacitor doesn't have a charge yet. Before soldering all the connections and securing the parts to the body of the generator, first I will check it if it's working. Shake the generator for 1 minute, then check if the capacitor is charged up. After a minute of shaking, this is the result. The capacitor was charged up to 2.6 volts. And that's enough to light up the LED bulb. After successfully making it light up, you can now solder the connections, cut the excess wires, and secure the parts to the generator to make it look clean and presentable. To arrange the parts properly, you must disassemble the others first. Only secure the connections between the generator and diodes. Solder the connections and cut the excess wires. Slightly tag the wires to check if it's soldered correctly. You can now disassemble the other parts. Now that it's disassembled, you can now easily arrange it neatly to make it look presentable and secure the connections by soldering. Place the diode's positive side facing to the right and negative to the left. I didn't cut the excess wires because I might need it later. Solder the connections and cover it with a masking tape. Label the positive and negative side. Solder the negative side of the capacitor to the negative side of the diodes. I didn't cut the leg of the capacitor because that is where I will solder the switch. Solder it to the positive side of the diodes and leave an extra 1 inch sticking out. Bend the negative leg of the LED to the desired position. Measure the distance of the positive leg of the LED to the positive leg of the capacitor. Make sure to leave a space between them for the switch. Solder the negative leg first. Solder the leg of the capacitor to the right terminal of the switch, then the leg of the LED to the left terminal of the switch. And this is what the finished product looks like. I bent the LED this way so that it will not be hit when I remove and return the cover. Keep the switch on when testing to make sure the connections are good. Then turn it off and shake for 1 minute to check if the capacitor is charging up. And that's it. The capacitor is okay. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. You can also give a small tip by pressing the super thanks button. Thank you for watching. See you on our next project.